All right, so I'm gonna go ahead on and just go with it and hope that the background doesn't get in the way of what is happening and what I want to say. So, since the last episode that I recorded, or the last thing that I recorded, I'll say, because I have no idea what order this is going to come out in. But I decided that I'm going to like make this a thing, right? And make it official. And when I decided that, there are so many ideas and titles that came to my mind about all of the things that I think about. And that happens to me often where things will just like what is the word I'm trying to say? I just blended a whole bunch of words together. That things will flood, rush, those are the two words that I was blending, flur, that things will flood my mind, that they will rush my mind, sometimes uncontrollably, and I can't catch everything, and I'm always trying to catch it all, and it's so much. And I'm invested in all of the things, so that I have to try to remember. And if I don't have something near me to write it down or to record it in my phone or to make a voice note, then I'm like racking and assigning my brain people to grab it because I don't want to forget it because it's so much, right? So the title of this episode is I Feel Like King George. Um, for hopefully by now you all have seen Bridgerton before. If not, I highly encourage you to watch it. It is just such a beautifully written and beautifully produced and directed, and oh my God, it's a masterpiece. It's a piece of art. Like the colors are very vibrant, and it's a good time over there in the Bridgerton universe. And so there were two seasons of Bridgerton, the actual series, and then there has been a spinoff that just came out called Queen Charlotte. So Queen Charlotte, I don't know a lot about European history, so please don't add me or quote me, okay? But from what I can remember in this moment right here is Queen Charlotte was a black queen. And in the movie, it says she came from a different country to marry King George. So, at any rate, what I believe is that history revolved around the fact that she was black and she had this big responsibility to the people in England, the black people there, because they looked up to her as one of them. So, at least according to what they show in Queen Charlotte in the Bridgerton universe, that's how they depicted her, right? So I don't know where the lines are of actual history in Bridgerton. I do not know. Okay, this is not something I majored in at all, but this is what I gather from the pieces that I'm putting together. So at any rate, this Queen Charlotte spinoff is a prequel, if you will, to the Queen Charlotte that we see in Bridgerton. So it's telling the backstory of how she even came to be Queen Charlotte, what that process was like, what it was like for her to be married to King George. And then they do some flash forwards of showing where Queen Charlotte is now, probably laying some seeds for the next season of Bridgerton, like what's gonna happen there, right? So I won't get too detailed into that. Oh, because I should probably say spoiler alerts. I guess I be trying not to spoil stuff, but hey, it's been a long time. So if you missed it, it's all right. And even if I spoil it for you, it's still so well written that you can go back and watch it with the information and still get something out of it. I've watched the series about 3 times now. I believe I watched it in English, and then I watched it in Spanish, and then I watched it in English again. Um, and it's just so, the way that it's written, the nuances of the language, and oh my God, it is just such a good, it is a good series. Do you hear me? Okay, so at any rate, um I'm sorry, my brain people are flooding my brain right now. And I still haven't introduced them to you all, so I'll try to do that next time. But at any rate, so Queen Charlotte marries King George, and the story, their love story, centers around her protection, or her wanting him to be himself. Let's just say it like that. Her wanting him to be able to be his full and complete self without having to perform. She recognized that the crown was very heavy, metaphorically and probably actually, because they stole a lot of jewels from African countries. But that's another podcast for another day. But at any rate, the crown was very heavy. So she tried to relieve that burden from him and really be his support, if you will. Well, we find out during the series that King George has some sort of mental illness that he goes through great lengths of trying to fix, through extreme measures, so that he can show up to be the king that Charlotte deserves, right? It's all rooted in this love that he has for her. But she doesn't know what's going on. So it is very interesting, again, watching it unfold as she is creating her own narrative, and then we get to see what was actually happening with him, and then those two worlds collide. It is just, it's beautiful, it's beautifully written. But at any rate, I feel like I've said that a lot. I should probably not do that. Filler words. I don't know if you all have them. We all do, but I seem to be developing new ones. So I'm going to try to be cognizant of that. So the story, why did I bring all of this up? Oh, because I feel like King George. So Queen Charlotte finally finds out what happened, or what King George has been doing, in order to try to cure himself from this anguish that he is in. And she puts it all to a stop. She's like, absolutely not. He will be able to be himself. And basically, I will cover him. And this is what you see, right? So again, in Bridgerton, when they were first introduced, we just see like, it's kind of weird of like, where is King George? Like, we'll hear her speak of him and then kind of see like something weird happen. Like, it's, so this is giving us all the backstory to all of that. Um, so at any, I was about to say it again. Don't do it. Okay. So, so what we see from King George's mental illness, if you will, is an obsession with certain astronomical concepts, let's just say. So things having to do with astronomy. And sometimes he becomes so overwhelmed with whatever this obsession is that he stays in that space for long periods of time, and it's very difficult for him to come out and come back to himself, if you will. And that might manifest as writing on walls, or babbling to oneself, or different types of compulsive types behaviors. And I'm probably, listen, y'all don't at me. I'm not the WebMD, and I definitely am not the what's the book called? The DSM, I think it's called. I don't have none of that. Okay, so I'm not. I'm using words, but I'm not doing any type of diagnosis. I just want to be clear in that, because I'm using words like obsession and compulsion, and I'm not saying that it's OCD. I don't know what the condition is, but I do know that the condition manifests in certain types of behaviors that I couldn't think of a better way to describe it than that. So, we see that in the series. We see that George kind of goes into these bouts of talking to the stars. Let's just say that. And how he weaves in and out of that, and how he comes in and out of that, and how Charlotte supports him and all of that. And they have this thing where when she wants to meet him, talk to George, the core of who George is, she meets him underneath the bed. There's like, they'll sit like underneath the bed, and it's like a little cave that they sit in. And there, the voices are quiet, and George is able to think and hear and see Charlotte and talk to her when they're under that bed. But outside of that space, things are very chaotic in his mind, and it's a lot going on, and it's taking a lot for him to get it together. And I relate to that more and more as every day passes, because of this draw that I have to my closet. I am currently sitting in my closet, on my window seat. I have found a way to turn the TV so it's on a swivel type of mount. So I actually can turn the TV towards the door so I can sit in the closet and watch TV at the same time. Like, oh my God. So I'm really excited about that. But I also was like, oh my God, I really am making this a thing in this closet. Like, what is it about this closet? I know that the research tells us, for instance, there are certain types of children that like to be cocooned. So many of our children who are neurodivergent, or our children who may have some type of learning disability, or some type of behavioral type of disability, a lot of them, and a lot of times this falls on those who are boys, a lot of them will go through this cocoon type of experience. That's why they wear their hoods. The little kids, they might sit underneath their desk, or want to sit in like the little teepee type swings or things. Like, there's safety in that. And I know that when I was a kid, I used to build blanket forts. How many of y'all did that? Um, and they were like elaborate, right? I mean, I had me like a whole penthouse, okay? Because we had a sectional in the den, and baby, we would bring my brother's slide, his little tyke slide, into the house, and we'll make that a part of it. And then we'll move the dining room chairs, and that'll be, man, listen, our fort was lit, okay? I just really went back to the blanket forts, man. Those were the times, huh? We didn't have a whole bunch of worries. Just make sure you took that shit down before your mama got home and put her goddamn furniture back. Oh man, that was a good memory mixed with some traumatic ones. But anyway, so I know that I used to do blanket forts all the time, right? And I loved them so much. And it was just fun for me, right? And then you grow up and you're supposed to like not do blanket forts. But it turned into me and my brother had bunk beds. So I wanted the bottom bunk because I could technically like put up sheets around it and have my own little private party, in there. Like, again, it was something about being in that enclosed space that I really, really liked. And as I've grown up and gone through different times, I found those spaces for myself. Sometimes it has been like the actual closet. When I had my house well, even when I had my my first apartment in Tampa, I would sit in the closet. My second apartment, I would sit in the closet. Now that I think about it, when I got my house, I would sit in the closet as well. Um, yeah, it's been a thing for me, and it's a thing for me of wanting some type of enclosed space. Even when I'm in the bed, sometimes if it's a big room, I might find myself tucking the sheets like underneath my head and then putting my knees up so it still kind of feels like a fort. It just feels safe for me. And I did not consciously think about any of that until I was trying to unpack this obsession with this current closet. And I feel like I want a different word for obsession. That's why I said earlier, like the draw, because I don't feel like it's a bad behavior, but I also am very curious about it because I find myself becoming more and more comfortable in here and wanting to do more and more things in here and like looking forward to the time that I get to go into the closet. Um, was like, oh, it's the perfect place for me to record podcasts because it has like all these little cubbies and it's really good for the sounds. I was like, oh, I can set that up there. When I first moved in here, I said, oh, I want to work in here. It's just something about this space that really feels safe and cozy and comfortable. And God talks to me here. So at any rate, I said it again, damn it. But I hadn't said it for a long time, so hopefully it's not so bad. But the reason that the dots that I want to connect here is the reason I said that I feel like King George is because the closet for me is like that space under the bed where he and Charlotte would meet. It's that space where I can hear things clearly, y'all. When I tell y'all, I decided earlier when I said, I'm going to make this podcast a thing. And I was standing in the closet in this specific spot and literally thought of 10 titles, like right then on the spot, like with no problem at all. And like, that doesn't necessarily happen when I'm out in the rest of my house. Like I feel like I'm peaceful and I'm comfortable, but it's not like that intimate space for me to really be able to hear from God. And it goes for me from the closet to the shower. Like I'm gonna do a whole nother episode about my shower routine because it is so like you want to talk about looking forward to like a soul uplifting type of situation. Like it is everything to me. um so at any rate, don't say it, Kimberly, don't. Sheesh. So I'm glad that I am deciding not to really edit this and allow you all to hear how my brain actually works because I also want to model this philosophy of when I say curiosity over judgment or like being aware of what we're doing without beating ourselves up about it. So just throughout this episode, as I've been battling with this at any rate situation that I don't know even know where I picked it up from, I'm actually in full time catching myself doing that and like modeling how I try to solve that without saying horrible things to myself. So there's purpose in it. I understand. However, I also want to stop saying it because now I'm aware of it. So I almost said it again, but I didn't let it come out my mouth. Okay, let's connect dots here. So this, y'all, this is when the brain person who's responsible for keeping me on track has to like pass up the different breadcrumbs for me to get back to where I was. And sometimes it's successful and sometimes it's not. I don't know what's about to happen. I'm going to see if I can find where I was. If not, we'll just go from where I think I was and then we'll see. All right, hold on. Let me access my brain person. This is like an awkward silence. I feel like I should have like hold music or something here, but I'm still here. Hold on. I'm still thinking. Hold on. Just look at the timer and make sure it's still going. And if it's still going, that means I'm still thinking. Okay. All right. Here we go. So I believe the last thing I remember saying was about this cave and the safety and the research that goes along with that. I'm understanding that that is what I am doing. Um, I don't know, but I'm in the ballpark. I'm in the ballpark. I don't know if this is my guy who's usually at work or if this is like the second shift guy. I don't know. I'm still figuring out how my people are getting positioned because I need them to be ready. You know what I mean? When it's time for me to remember something, I need my guy to be like, back out. Like, here it is, girl. Here. Like, this is what you was talking about. And tonight is not really rocking like that. So, I don't know. I need to have a meeting. But anyway, let me focus. So, but this is also an example of what I mean when like my brain will go in so many different directions that it becomes so overwhelming and it's so loud that it just becomes a lot for me. So when I come into the closet, it's like I can sort things out. I can sort out what needs to be done. I can think of a place to pin these different things so I don't forget them, so I can come back to them. When I come to the closet, there's clarity and the chatter slows down a bit and it turns kind of into like this creative, flowy type of energy where things are just flowing. So, for instance, I'm sitting here, like I told you, I'm sitting in the closet, I'm on my window seat, and I have recorded this entire time with my eyes closed because I don't want any other distractions to take me off track. So, I'm just sitting here with my eyes closed and I'm just talking, I'm just flowing, right? That's the type of energy that I feel when I'm in here, as opposed to when I'm not in here. Sometimes it feels very, uh, chaotic, sporadic, staticky kind of. Like I'll think about things and I'll think about like good ideas, but then I don't like fluidly move into the creation. Maybe that's it. So I might think about it. I'm like, that would be a good idea. Okay, let me write that down. But I know that in order for me to get into my creative space and to flow, that's going to happen in the closet. So I look forward to being in the closet. Like I said earlier, I will say to myself, "Oh, I can't wait. Let me hurry up and finish dinner so I can go in the closet." It's like a thing. Um, and I'm really, really wondering why. I don't think that I'm crazy. I don't think that I am turning into a crazy person. I actually think that I am becoming more and more aware and in tune with how I work and my life works and how God works with me and my spirituality and the messages that I receive and all of that. I think that I'm just becoming so hyper aware of it that it is sometimes overwhelming. But I don't think I'm crazy. I don't. And I mean, do crazy people even think they're crazy? I don't know. So maybe I am crazy, but I don't think I am. I think that I'm making sense. You all can tell me, but then you might be crazy too. So who knows? Who even knows? Who even knows, right? So I'm just not going to even say it. I'm going to say that I am me and I am learning how to be me and how to embrace me and how to accept me and love me for the me that exists unrestricted because I've never gotten to be this person before. And I'm really enjoying the process of understanding who I am and how I am, um, without feeling like I have to change pieces of me in order to be safe. Let's just say that. Whether that safety is about earning an income or whether that safety is about being accepted or what have you, I don't feel like I have to do that for my life right now. And I don't know if this is like a grand awakening that happens at 40 for everybody, right? Because I'm 42, or if this is something special that's happening to me. But I'm going to say it's special anyway because it's happening to me. But I also don't know if it's common. It may be. But for me, it has been a very rewarding journey. Um, and very interesting. So, again, I'll do another episode to kind of talk a little bit more about that. But um, I'm gonna get my King George on. I'm going to watch some TV here from the closet, and I'm gonna see what else God is gonna tell me to create. So, until then, make sure that you are following me on social platforms. So on Instagram, I am at Kimberland J and at Minding My Black Ass Business. On Facebook, I am Kimberland Jackson and Minding My Black Ass Business with two Z's. And on YouTube and Patreon at Minding My Black Ass Business. I still don't yet know where these are going to wind up. And it's so funny that I say that things like that because I'm talking to you all in the future where a decision has already been made. But at this point, when I'm recording it, I don't even know because I just decided this morning that this is really a thing. So, yeah, wherever it is, my ask is that you comment. Let me know what connected with you. Let me know what questions you have. Let me know what you're curious about. Let me know what you're discovering about your own understanding of your brain and how you work and the things that you do to help yourself to feel safe. Let me know those things in the comments because I would love to normalize these types of conversations without feeling like we can't have them because we're scared that people would think we're crazy. So come join my crazy world with me. All right, y'all. Until next time, love y'all. Bye for now.